After graduation from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, Lee R. Anderson Sr. planned a military career, but he returned home after 3 years to help his father in his small business. Starting with that small company and 13 employees, Lee built the business and in 1972 made several critical, pivotal, but at the same time risky acquisitions. Renamed the API Group, today it is a holding company with more than 40 independent fire protection, industrial, and specialty construction companies with revenue that exceeds $2 billion a year and more than 10,000 employees. Lee created a leadership development program to hire and to train the strongest candidates, focusing on U.S. veterans. Now in its 10th year, the program has resulted in graduates who are serving as presidents of API companies and has been adopted as a model for business across the country.
I believe very strongly in high integrity, in honor, and I've taken it into my life and throughout my career. My dad was born of Swedish parents. Unfortunately, both his parents died before the age of 14, so he only had an 8th grade education. My mother had a similar background. She was an orphan in an orphanage for many years. Both of them were wonderful, loving parents. We grew up in humble surroundings. This is in the early 40s during the war. We had gas rationing. We had one radio in the house. My dad was insisting, he said, no, you're going to want to go to West Point. And he said, you're never going to regret that. I went to West Point. There was a 3-year active duty commitment. Shortly before my 3 years were up, my dad had had a severe heart attack. I had just been transferred to Europe, and he says, no, you need to come home. And he had an interest in a small company in St. Paul. First week I'm back, he says, well, why don't you go over there, spend a couple weeks, get to know the people, and just see what they're doing. Shortly after I was there, the manager there threw his pencil box across the room, and he says, I quit. You ask too many questions, and I suspect you're going to end up running this place. I called my dad right away, and he says, well, okay, then you run it. That was my 10 days into my corporate life. I'm managing this very small company. And that company was named Asbestos Products Incorporated, and that's where the API comes from today. Over a period of 50 years, we've grown the business to in excess of $2 billion in sales from where it started. I love America. I love our servicemen and women. Faith, hope, background, remembering that your integrity is something that you're born with but can be lost very easily. So you have to maintain that high ground.
Horatio Alger Association member Lee R. Anderson. Presenting the Horatio Alger Award is Association Board member R. James Nicholson.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you for your service to this country. He's a classmate of mine from 1961, West Point guy. I am humbled to receive this award dedicated to the principles that sustain our democracy: freedom, opportunity, and self-determination. Penny and I look forward to joining the impressive work this organization is doing throughout our nation, especially with these young people who receive Horatio Alger scholarships. Although I stand at the podium solo, I share this honor with many people in both my personal life and my professional career. I am humbled to see so many of them assembled here this evening and know that those not in attendance are here in spirit and memory. My wife, Penny, has always stood by my side. She has always encouraged me to move forward, follow my instincts, and look to the future. The Horatio Alger Association is all about helping and encouraging young men and women. I have the highest regard for each and every one of you and have enjoyed listening to your stories and goals for the future. The freedoms and opportunities that contributed to my accomplishment continue to be protected by the servicemen and women of this nation, along with the colleagues, partners, friends, and family that I am grateful to for my life. I want to include these valiant heroes. I want to thank each of you who has ever or will ever serve in our armed services. May God continue to bless America. Thank you again.